Hey, what's up, everybody? This is going to be a quick review or a quick recap, whatever you want to call it, of the Best in the World pay-per-view that took place tonight. I just got back from the show, actually, and I have pretty good seats. So, yeah, I'll try to, really talk about what happened tonight. I'm not really sure if this was a great show or an amazing show. I'm going to need to watch it again because it seems like there's a lot of mixed feelings on it. It seems like it came off a little bit better on pay-per-view. The live experience was kind of it was fun, but it was kind of irritating. There was a lot of mainstream fans tonight. I mean, we pretty much heard everything. We heard a lot of boring chants. We heard Cena sucks chants for absolutely no reason. We had a drunk guy by us that was pretty entertaining, and there was people behind us that were extremely annoying. So it was a very, very mixed bag. But overall, like always, Ring of Honor definitely delivered, especially in the second half. So let's break it down. The match that you guys didn't see, this will be available on the DVD when it comes out. We have the Red Hot Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly taking on the Generation Me, the Young Bucks. This is a dark match. This is actually just promoted just to boost the sales of the actual DVD when it comes out. So yeah, I mean, God, this was so much fun to watch. This was like wrestling heaven. I mean, what can I say about it? The crowd was just like popping for every single spot. There's a lot of high spots. Young Bucks, they hit all their moves. Cole and O'Reilly, a lot of suicidal offense. I mean, what can I say about this? But just tremendous action. I never heard the Hammerstein Ballroom this loud for an opening match, but this was going so well. But if you saw the video wire, they kind of showed the bravados kind of planning their attack because they were pissed off that they weren't booked on this show, so they came out and fucked up the match and interrupted and started beating the shit out of Cole and O'Reilly. So it was actually a disqualification. So kind of disappointing. It didn't go too long, but great replay value though. This is the kind of match you can watch over and over again. Probably the funnest match of the night, I would tell you. So let's move on to the next match. The opening match from the actual show was actually Colt Cabana versus Tomasso Ciampa, and overall this was disappointing. This didn't get a lot of time, but I really don't feel like they accomplished anything. Once again, another really mediocre performance from Tomasso Ciampa, who is supposed to be a much better wrestler than what he's showing in ROH, but he hasn't really had the chance to show how great he is. I heard he had a really good showing at the ECWA Super 8 tournament, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of Tomasso Ciampa because this is pretty average. Cabana. I don't believe Cabana has signed the contract yet, but it just kind of seems like he's going through the motions. There was a really nice spot in the match where Ciampa did a beautiful gutbuster to Cabana. That came off really nice. But other than that, Cabana hit his flying asshole. A lot of ass shots to Tomasso Ciampa's head. That's pretty much all I could say. But just a pretty average opener. I think they should have they should have picked a better opener to start off the actual pay-per-view. So move on to the next match. We have Jay Lethal versus the Prodigy Mike Bennett, and kind of a tough. They threw Jay Lethal right into the fire. They brought him back from TNA. A lot. I think a lot of people were so accustomed to TNA guys just sucking so bad that Jay Lethal actually got a "used to got it" chant, and the guy's only 25, 26 years old. It's ridiculous. So, but yeah, Jay Lethal looked great. He's a hell of an athlete. He's so athletic. He didn't really have to. You don't have to worry about conditioning with Jay Lethal because he really didn't miss a step. He looked awesome. Gave a nice tribute to the Macho Man Randy Savage. The Prodigy Mike Bennett looked pretty solid. This is probably the best I've seen him look. It wasn't a spectacular match, but it wasn't bad either. It was very, very good, and that's pretty much all I could say about it. So let's move on to the next match. Okay, so next up we have Rhino versus Homicide, and Rhino seems very, very motivated. Obviously he was released from TNA probably not too long ago, and it seems to me whenever Rhino starts, fresh, when he started fresh at WWE, I thought he looked great. When he started fresh with TNA, I thought he looked great, and he's gotten himself into pretty good shape. He had a pretty good showing here. Him and Homicide worked a pretty good match. It wasn't spectacular. There was parts of the match where they really lost the crowd. But there was other parts where they really delivered a nice, solid, entertaining, hardcore match, and pretty awesome aftermath here. Rhino actually, gored Homicide through a table. Homicide is actually going to be wrestling for some type of urban wrestling federation. So Homicide is probably not going to be in Ring of Honor anymore, which is good. I don't think Homicide really fits what today's Ring of Honor is all about, given his injury problems and weight problems. So I think it's good that they part ways. So yeah, it came off pretty well. Rhino looked like a definitely good. I think maybe they should give Rhino the chance and actually put him on the roster for the time being, because I think he deserved it after this performance tonight. So let's move on to the next match. Before intermission, we had Michael Elgin taking on Steve Corino. Before the match started, Steve Corino came out with Jimmy Jacobs, and they wanted to introduce Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen actually showed up on the balcony right by me, or right by all of us, in the middle of the balcony, and you know, got a great reaction. Got like that Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, babyface pop, and they did the thing with Jim Cornette and security trying to, like, you know, keep him away from the building, or keep him away from the ring. And yeah, so, you know, Steen really was the most over guy tonight. But, you know, the thing was, it kind of killed the crowd, though, because then the crowd just didn't give a fuck about, you know, Steve Corino and Michael Elgin. You know, Elgin looked good. You know, they worked pretty hard out there, but, you know, they just didn't have any crowd to play off of. And then the aftermath was pretty insane. Steen actually came back out and made the save. There was some type of beatdown from the House of Truth, and then you know, Steen made the save, and then Corino got on the mic, Steen got on the mic, and all of a sudden, you know, Steen said "fuck Ring of Honor," and this basically turned on Jimmy Jacobs and gave Steve Corino the creative pod driver. So Steen, you know, turns heel, and it makes a lot of sense, because I don't see how it's stable with Jimmy Jacobs, Kevin Steen, and Steve Corino. You know, three amazing mic workers, three great personalities, to be all on the same team. I definitely think, you know, Kevin Steen and Steve Corino could be a great feud. I think Kevin Steen versus Jimmy Jacobs could be an amazing feud on the mic between those two gentlemen. So yeah, I mean, and someone actually pitched the idea. One of our friends pitched the idea of Raven actually coming back and you know, being the guy to, you know, kind of consult Kevin Steen and be his you know, kind of manage Kevin Steen to kind of even things out. So I think that'll make for a nice combination. So after intermission, we had the television championship match with Christopher Daniels and El Generico, and you know, this is very, very solid. It started off slow. Christopher Daniels was playing a heel. He got the TNA treatment, the fuck TNA treatment. Really, he was doing the Jeff Jarrett strut. So he did a lot of things to get some cheap heat, but yeah, I mean, pretty cool stuff. You know, Daniels actually threw Generico into timekeeper, try to get him counted out. You know, Daniels was acting like he was going to win the match with no problem. He actually put the championship on and said, you know, why don't you just award me the match? But my problem with the match was, you know, Daniels is going back to TNA for good. You know he can't be on television, so it was kind of too predictable. You kind of knew Generico was winning. But, you know, just great stuff. They did some great counters. They had pretty good chemistry. They did a lot of nice counters from you know, the Brain Buster, and then Daniels, you know, had him in the I believe it was the Koji Clutch. Generico fought out of that. So very, very slow in the beginning, but then it really picked up, and then we got a hot finish with Generico doing the Brain Buster on the top of the turnbuckle, which the crowds always seem to love that. And yeah, it came out pretty good. Generico, the new television champion. So let's move on to the next match. We had probably the most criticized match of the night. A lot of people did not like the booking of this. You know, during the match, the crowd really got spoiled and really feisty. You know, a lot of boring chants. You know, I think it went a little bit too long, to tell you the truth. I don't think a lot of people had the patience to sit for an Ultimate Endurance match. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good stuff. You know, you got a lot of interesting tag teams, a lot of interesting personalities out there. I thought it came out pretty well. We had the world's greatest tag team, the All Night Express, the Briscoes, and the Kings of Wrestling. And you know, just some of the interactions. One of the cool things was Kenny King and Shelton Benjamin got tagged into the ring. Everyone was going crazy. You know, people. You know, it was just an interesting matchup. You know, because, you know, a lot of people have had Shelton versus Kenny King as a dream match, and all of a sudden the crowd started chanting, "This is racist." I don't know. It was I guess you want to say that the booking is racist, because they immediately put Shelton and Kenny in the ring together. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, though. It was kind of funny, you know, Kenny King and Shelton kind of laughed at the crowd and said fuck it, and then they went at it. They went at it pretty hard after that. So that was a pretty interesting confrontation between those two guys. But yeah, it really started off slow. The Briscoes were actually the first guys to get eliminated. Very, very methodical, man. The All Night Express actually got the win over the Briscoes, and then I believe Hero took out the elbow pad and blasted Red Titus right in the head with it. So then the All Night Express got eliminated. Then it came down to Charlie and Shelton versus the Kings one more time. We got a very anticlimactic finish. But let me say this: it was a mixed bag. There's a lot of negatives and positives in this match. Like I said, it was really slow, but at the same time, the match definitely had its moments. There was one part in the match where everyone tried to do their spots, do their high flying maneuvers out into the outside. Claudio went trying to go for the Ricola bomb on one of the guys at one point, but then Shelton Benjamin jumped up and did his leap onto the top rope and did a double arm drag to both guys. So yeah, that was definitely the highlight of the match. Definitely, the match definitely had its moments of athleticism, but really dragged though, and a lot of people were very, very impatient with the match. But I thought it came off great. I think the positives did outweigh the negatives, but a lot of the fans thought it was fans here didn't like the way it came down to Kings and the world's greatest tag team, because we've seen them so many times and we got an anticlimactic finish. But it's just still a great match though. It's one of those matches where you could just put on, sit back, and watch some great old school tag team wrestling. So let's move on to the next match. We got Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards. I'm not really going to talk about this match that much as far as the actual match goes. I think everyone expected these two guys, given their ability, given their track record, and given how much respect they have for each other. We knew they were going to go out there and bust their ass. There was a beautiful headbutt spot where they were just headbutting the crap out of each other. Really, I thought Eddie looked amazing here. I thought both guys really, gave it A+ effort. Really, scary spot in the match. I think it was Davey that was going for a powerbomb off the top rope, but then Eddie countered it into a hurricanrana. I think Davey landed on his head, so that was pretty crazy. Did some great submission wrestling with the ankle lock, with the clover leaf. Eddie did a double stomp through a table. Eddie actually, suplexed Davey on the edge of the ring apron. So really, they just delivered a great main event. I think the main event definitely came off better on TV, because I heard you could actually hear Davey say to Eddie, I'm always going to be your brother, and then he kicked him right in the chest, and he won the belt. So yeah, a great emotional moment for Davey Richards. Davey actually, thanked Eddie, and thanked Kyle O'Reilly and his trainer Tony Kazina, and really said, I don't have any family left. You guys are my family. You guys are the guys that helped me achieve my moment. He said, the Ring of Honor fans are part of his family as well. This is all he has, and it was really touching for me personally, and it just really came off well. I'm just really happy for Davey. Nobody in the world deserves to be a champion more than him. We've seen him go through, such hell over the last couple years. Just pretty much carrying the company, carrying the load as far as him just being asked to have the best match every single night. So it's definitely well deserved. So congratulations to Eddie Edwards, and yeah, I would say this ended up being a great show. It did have its flaws. The live experience wasn't spectacular because of all the obvious mainstream fans there that were unfamiliar with the product. But yeah, definitely check out the second half. Was great. Second half definitely was awesome. Kevin Steen coming back was awesome. Young Bucks and Kyle O'Reilly for a while it lasted was pretty fucking sweet. So definitely check it out.